Hello YouTube. Today we're gonna be taking a look at floppy drive alignment. So, just gonna get straight into the video. I won't try and do anything fancy, just information. And hopefully the camera will camera does not like this right now for some reason. Anyway, this is David Dunfield's ImageDisk program, which has I'm not sure if this is gonna show up very well on the screen, but right here, alignment test, and that's how we're gonna be aligning or checking the alignment on this drive. Now, I've already aligned it in the past, and for the sake of this video, I will actually purposely throw off the alignment. So anyway, we're going to start things off with a retail disk, writer, and this is a quad density floppy drive, so I will have to specify double stepping when aligning the disk. So let's zoom back in again. So you just hit A on the keyboard, disk is already in, tap enter. And there we go. 18 sectors being read per track, and that's 9 sectors per side. And if I tap S to change the stepping from single to double step, then I can step up and down each track on the disk, change heads by tapping H, and you'll see that right now it's able to read a 360K disk just fine. And I can just hit a number on the keyboard and it'll step to some track that's a multiple of 10. Track 40 is unformatted on this disk, so I gotta tap back down to 39. Yeah, so that works. And now I will show using an 80 track disk, which is actually just a 360K disk that I formatted to have 80 tracks. And this is gonna work effectively like a quad density disk. So this is holding 720 kilobytes on what's normally a 360K disk. So the way that I have it formatted right now, I actually only have 8 sectors placed on the disk. So this maxes out to 640K instead. But once again, if I step up and down, this time without double stepping, since this has 80 tracks, once again, it's able to read every track. Jump up and down, it's still able to read. So yeah, drive is currently well aligned and it works out just fine. I just have the board off for the sake of, just showing things. And now, time to throw everything off. I have 2 screws here, which controls the alignment between the top and bottom heads. And then, for aligning the actual head assembly itself onto the correct tracks, I will have to, let me get the phone off the tripod for a moment. I will have to actually mess with this and this. These are just 2 screws holding the actual spindle motor in place. Wait, no, the head stepper motor, not spindle motor. This is the spindle motor down here. But yeah, according to the manual for this drive, I have to physically twist this motor back and forth in order to align the head assembly. And let me show you why real quick. So let me take the disc out. So right here, that's the shaft of the spindle motor, or stepper motor. And if you look down there, it's attached to a band right there and a band right there. Hey, focus. Phone does not want to focus. It really doesn't want to focus. Anyway, yeah, point is that if I twist the motor, it twists this pulley here, and as a result, will pull this head assembly either a little bit forward or a little bit backwards. So we're going to start off with intentionally misaligning the heads and then realigning them. And I also want to show off this, which is a purposely formatted 360K alignment disc. So now that I think of it, I probably could have just made it myself given the way that it was created. I bought this thinking that it was one of those like factory formatted ones, but no, this was just formatted using ImageDisk as well, so oops. So yeah, let me just open this up. And put it in, and I'll just run a quick alignment test before I misalign the heads. So this is a 360K alignment disc. So I'll once again turn on double stepping. Everything is aligned. So right now it's reading from the bottom head, which is head 0. If I tap H to switch heads, it'll start reading from the top head. And once again, it's fully aligned. But if I pause the alignment test and then turn the camera back over here, using these two screws, loosen them, and just, knock the head a little bit to the side. I'll keep it loose for now. Then when I go back over to here and start a new alignment test, now it should have some issue reading from the top head. Oh, it's not. What? There we go. Okay, so apparently the tolerances for this drive are actually pretty loose. So anyway, now it's recognizing absolutely nothing coming from the top head, while the bottom head continues to read just fine. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if I step around, it'll continue to fail at reading data. So now, I will keep that running in the meantime. You'll just have to listen to the pitch of the beeps to tell whether or not it's aligned or not. Let me lower this down. I can't bring the tripod any closer. Small YouTuber problems. Come on. There we go. Okay. So if I just kind of tweak the head back and forth. Oh, whoops, I should probably step back to the first head. Okay, it's back there. So notice that right now it thinks that it is aligned, but if I step up to a different track, for example, maybe track 10, it is no longer aligned, and that's because the disk is it's important for you to go into the tracks closer to the middle of the disc for alignment as well. And this will let you better calibrate the mechanism. And it's a lot of just trial and error at this point to realign it. Oh wait, I just realized I'm on single stepping. Oops. Okay, let me go to double stepping and now go back to track 10. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I guess it's aligned right now. But because this is a quad density drive, a 360K alignment disc will not be enough. Instead, you have to use a 720K disc, which has those 80 tracks. So let me start a new alignment test again. And as long as I did not incidentally perfectly align it, it should... Oh wow. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so I guess I did happen to perfectly align it again when I was tweaking it with the 360K disc, because right now it's reading everything just fine again. Well, okay. But that's not quite over yet. The tricky part now is to tighten the screws without throwing off the alignment. You have to try and hold it in place and turn the screw gently, or else the torquing effect from the screws will also start throwing the head out of alignment. So, it seems like I was able to, thankfully, realign the disc heads. So let me switch between the first and second head. Yeah, everything is working fine. Let's do one try with the retail disc, because retail discs are going to have tighter tolerances, so it might be a better, I guess, workout for the drive to be able to catch onto those tracks. Okay, so that's reading fine. Switch to double stepping. Let's step up a little bit. Switch heads, that's working. Let's step up to track 30 now. Switch heads again. Okay, and that's apparently perfectly aligned. Okay, so now for the next part of the drive alignment stuff, let's turn this thing on its side and loosen the actual head stepper itself. Let me do that, so then it's easier for you guys to see what I'm actually doing. So I'm just sticking my screwdriver in here and loosening the screws holding in the head stepper. So now this is going to jiggle around a little bit. I want it to be loose enough that I can twist it. There we go. And you can actually see... this phone does not want to cooperate today as far as focusing goes. If I twist this, you can actually see the head assembly moving back and forth a little bit. I need a better camera. Anyway, with that being done, let's turn back to the screen. Turn this back. And I will actually have to be doing this alignment with the drive turned on its side, but in the meantime I will start the alignment test while it's just like this. And you can see that it's basically reading nothing right now. It's reading garbage. It doesn't even recognize that there are a full 9 sectors on this disk. It's only seeing 4 because of how terribly misaligned it is. So if I go back to the drive, oh wow, it's so loose right now that just the motion of turning it on its side started to fix it. Okay, so yeah, just twist it back and forth until you start hearing the beeping. Let's move up to a higher part. And yeah, if I twist it this way, it's misaligned again. But if I twist it back, right where it's in the middle of the screw hole like that, then it's aligned. Twist it too far this way and it's misaligned again. Slowly twist it back, and now it's aligned. And once again, just like aligning the heads against each other, you will have to be careful about tightening the screws because they will twist the motor just a little bit. So you gotta try and hold it in place while you're tightening things. And there we go. Motor is back in place. And once again, let's try the 80-track disc just to see how accurate we are in our alignment. If it's not accurate enough and there's still alignment issues, then we just gotta keep on doing that, but on an even more fine level. But it seems like it's working. So let's step up to track 50. Ooh. Okay, so it's a little bit misaligned still, because you can hear the difference in pitch in the beeping. Step up to track 70. Oh yeah, that is still misaligned on the higher density discs. Okay, so switching back down to here, just the same process again. Loosen the screws and just twist it around until you get the right pitch. Okay, so I formatted this with 8 sectors per track. So right now the beeping that's giving is for 16 sectors each track, and that's counting both heads. And that's reading correctly, so that means that is aligned again. So let's screw this back into place and try not to ruin things. Okay. And let's just step around, confirm that things are aligned. Go back to track 0. And if you do hear a lower pitched beep at the very beginning, after you step to a different track, that's just because it takes a moment for the drive to pick up on all the sectors. But right now we have our drive fully realigned. And that is how you realign a floppy disk drive using ImageDisk. You just gotta find the right screws to turn and make sure that you know how to make or find good disks to use for testing your alignment. Anyway, that's it for this video. My setup is an absolute disaster right now still, as you can see. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like. If you don't like this video, then because YouTube is really screwing its own creators over. I will be leaving a comment down in the comments under the description where if you don't like this video, then I guess you can like that comment or something instead. Anyway, that's it for now. Until next time, see ya!